morning, everyone, and welcome back to Good Morning Games. And we just had a Nintendo Direct, and on the final day of E3, they did a great job. What do you think?
Oh my god. Yeah, that was one of the best things I've ever seen. We're recording this like hours afterwards, and I'm still
I'm still riding high.
Still riding high. I told Jason like I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because I was just so fired up for this whole day of Direct and Treehouse, and still just riding high. I just feel a little bit crazy right now, and it's in a good way. So thank you, Nintendo, for the best part of E3.
Yeah, I got 5 hours of sleep, and last night I was literally in my bed at like 9 p.m. just like watching some shows, but I was really just on my computer, like just reading shit.
Yeah.
And I ended up coming across, whatever. It was just a mess. So I didn't sleep either, but God, all I've been thinking about today is everything. And so yeah, let's just kind of go through everything we did. We're going to do stuff that isn't first party. We'll go through that stuff first. So
yeah.
Let's start with some of
Advanced
the things
Wars. No,
all right,
no,
yeah.
no, I'm joking. No,
I mean, that's fine.
Let's go with the third party stuff. Let's get it out of the way.
All right, so to start, let's just go over some of the things they barely kind of touched on. I was just going to say, like, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That's coming on the Switch June 25th. It definitely looks worse.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look nearly as good as the Xbox and PlayStation versions, but I guess that's kind of expected.
Yeah, it definitely looks worse, but it's cool that it's on there, and honestly, I wish it kind of had like leaked that it was going to be on there, but not when it was first announced. And I honestly, I know it looks so much better on Series X and PlayStation 5, but if I would have known if these were all coming out at the same time, I probably would have got it on the Switch, just because I this is like the perfect game for me to play like handheld, where I can just play it for like 10 minutes at a time. So I'm not gonna get it again, but I like kind of want to. So yeah, anyways, that's an older one. Well, next was they talked about Doom Eternal is getting the Ancient Gods Part 1 DLC today. So if you're a fan of Doom Eternal, there you go.
Yep.
Then there was the Worms Rumble, which is cross-platform 32-player real-time battling. That's coming June 23rd. Yeah, cool. Do you got any thoughts?
No, I think Worms Rumble, this wasn't an announcement, right? This was like a release date. Reveal. Yeah, this was announced before, I think.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it before.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
it's not,
could be fun.
It's nothing too crazy.
Nah, we had Dragon Ball Z, Kakarot. Is that how you say it?
Kakarot. And it's
so that's coming in September. This was my favorite. This next one is my favorite third-party announcement. That's the Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. It's a remastered version of the first 3 games. From the series, so 1, 2, and what's the third one? I can't
think of what the third one's called. Yeah, so I never played that one, but
me neither.
Yeah, this was my favorite too, because when I had a GameCube, I used to play Super Monkey Ball, the original one. I loved that game, and like I literally would have my little friends over. I was in like 6th grade, and they would all come to my place, and we would play Monkey Target. Like every day. It was like our favorite game.
Oh yeah.
And I really liked the campaign too. And I remember that they had like easy, like easy, medium, hard were the campaigns, and they were each different campaigns. Like, it wasn't just a harder mode. It was literally different levels in each of those. And I could never beat the hard mode. I never beat it when I really am excited to play it now and just see if it was just because I was an idiot kid and sucked at games. But yeah, I really like that game, so I would recommend it.
Yeah, those levels got really challenging towards the end of that game. I was the same way though. I played a ton of Monkey Target. That game was so fun back in the day. I can't wait to. I'm just so happy that Sega was like, all right, we did the one that nobody wanted with Banana Blitz. Now let's just give them Banana Mania. First 3 games remastered. Perfect. Nicely done. This thing's going to sell a shit ton.
Yeah. I hope it does. I mean, it's possible people people aren't as. I hope they do. I hope they do a good job of selling it to people who don't really know what it is.
Yeah, well, right off the bat, I would say they didn't do a great job. I
Yeah.
feel like they didn't do a great job of like communicating that this is a remaster of the first 3 games.
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody and they were like, "Oh, I had no idea that that's what it was." So
Yeah, because the way they showed it was it showed a timeline where it was, like 19, I'm making up the days, but like 2001,
Yeah,
Super Monkey
01.
Ball, 2003, but it did all of them. So like it had like 10 games, and then it was like now Super Monkey Ball, Banana Mania. So like it wasn't clear if it was a new one. I know it did show at some point. It showed that it was it said like remaster, but yeah, it was a little confusing.
yeah.
So I hope they clear that up, because I do hope that game sells enough that they decide to make another one and they go back to the way it was.
I think that's what Banana Blitz HD was. Like they kind of pulled a fast one and just HD'd the Wii one because it was already 16:9 aspect. So like I this is just me guessing. Like I don't know the technical aspects of this and like the costs associated, but I feel like that was the easiest one for them to remaster. So they did that first. It probably sold pretty well, and now that's why we're getting Banana Mania.
Yeah.
But can't wait for that. That's out October 5th for everything, basically.
Yep. So yeah, that's awesome. Okay, I don't know what this is. Do you know what? I don't want to say it wrong.
Fatal Frame?
No, I know Fatal Frame, but the other one, Danganronpa.
Danganronpa?
Yeah, do you know what that is?
Dang old romper. I don't know.
Yeah, so here I'm just reading this description. Brings the first 3 games from the cult classic Schoolhouse Murder Investigation series to the Switch. I was after the Direct, I was like, watching YouTube videos of people like describing all these and like going over the Direct. And there was like a few, it seemed like 3/4 of the people didn't know what this was. But then there was a few people that were like, oh my God, that's coming.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems like it's something that, like, as I guess it does say, a cult classic.
It's a deep cut.
So,
it seems like.
Yeah, it must be a deep cut. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna at least try to learn more about that. But yeah, that's
I
cool.
have never heard of it, and I have no clue what it is still.
But
hey,
me neither.
whatever.
I never heard of it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We got Life is Strange Remastered making another appearance at E3.
Yep.
And the spin-off game of True Colors. These are hitting on September 10th. So if you're a fan of Life is Strange, there you go.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the price is going to be, but if it's if the remastered collection is $40 or less, I think I might get it, because I think I said this on the last podcast, but I tried Life is Strange, the first one, and I did not play it that long. I probably played it for like an hour, but it wasn't. The thing is, when it's games like this, like narrative-based games, it's not that I don't like them. It's that I don't want to sit down in front of my TV, turn it on, and play it for like 8 hours. Like a narrative game, which is what I do for some, maybe not 8 hours, but like, I don't know. I just don't want to do that. But with the Switch, I can just pick it up and play it for like 30 minutes. So, I mean, Life is Strange is a pretty big series, so I'm thinking I might at least get the remastered collection. So that's September 10th.
Yeah. That was like the second or third time Life is Strange showed up at E3.
Yeah.
Okay, other third-party stuff we had.
Yeah. You mentioned Fatal Frame.
Oh, yeah, Fatal Frame.
Again, this is another one that I have not played these, but I know that that's also, some of these games are really popular.
Yeah, I think Fatal Frame has a huge audience for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did look up on like Metacritic, and this one was one of the lower rated ones, so that's great.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Yeah.
But this was the Wii U one, so maybe that's why they're just trying to get it to more people, since nobody had the
definitely.
Wii U.
And that could also be why it was lower rated.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
because it probably used the gamepad or some shit. That was annoying.
We had Guardians of the Galaxy from Square Enix rearing its ugly head once again.
Yeah, and I guess it was, I didn't catch that, but I guess it was the cloud streamed version of it.
Oh, was it? I didn't catch that either.
I just heard multiple people say that, so I don't know. I must have missed that, but that's too bad.
Okay, Just Dance 2022 from Ubisoft coming November 4th. Of course, that makes sense.
Not coming to the Wii, which is the first time. First time it has not come to the Wii.
Wow.
Yeah, which is insane.
We finally made it to the future.
Yeah.
Cruisin' Blast. I had no idea that this game existed. I had Cruisin' USA on N64 and loved it. I remember it being like an early game for that. And so now we're getting Cruisin' Blast on Switch, console exclusive with 4-player support.
Yeah, kind of cool. I mean, like,
if it's like $10, I might get it. But
yeah. I mean, it was like, I was like, oh, this is odd, and then it said it was a console exclusive, and it's like, okay, I guess. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Astria Ascending.
Yep, that was like one of it was the turn-based RPG. It looked all right. It kind of looked like a mobile game to me. But I don't know. I like turn-based RPGs, so we'll see. I gotta watch it more.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about that one. And then we saw Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope once again.
Which did we talk about that? I don't think we have talked about it because we didn't put out anything after Ubisoft.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
looks really good.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I really liked Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. But I was concerned, and I think I said that's kind of why I said, and I think you said the same thing. Like, it'd be nice to have like a different series with the Rabbids or something like that, because I didn't want it to be the same thing again. And this seems like it's different enough, and it seems much bigger. Like, it showed in the world. It was like different planets. They could walk anywhere, and it also looked like enemies were out in the open. And so I'm thinking like they run into you, and then that starts a battle, and which is cool, because in the last one you would like go to like, it was almost like a course where you'd like get past a flag and then you were in a battle. So that's cool. And it also it looked like the grid was removed, which is also cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to check it out. It did get a 2022 window, so nothing more specific than that. And I'm guessing that'll, if they only give 2022, that's a good bet that it's the second half of the year.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm definitely gonna get it. It's a little, well, I mean, okay, so this is a Ubisoft series now, so I get why they're doing it, but it's almost like, man, do they like, this is an awesome like tactical RPG. It's like, I wish they didn't have to have the Rabbids in it. Like, like at this point, it's like, just make like a tactical Mario. It's not a big deal, but whatever.
No, I know. The Rabbids are they're something.
Yeah. But I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I really enjoyed the first one. I also remember the first one going on sale like almost immediately. Like, I paid $60 for it because I downloaded it day one, but like a month later it was like $40, $30 physical. So I think this might be one where I just wait and see what the price drops to.
Sure. Yeah.
Because that happened with the first one, and now it's $5. So
yeah.
And then I think is this the last third-party one? Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin. Or did I skip over something else?
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. That's
I've never heard the word "monsty" so many times until now. Like, I don't know what that is. I had no idea that was even like a term used in Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know we've said neither of us are like the biggest Monster Hunter fans. I'm absolutely going to check out this demo just because I know that it is completely different. It's like a completely different series than the actual Monster Hunter series. It's just that same, it's Capcom and it's monsters, but it's an RPG from what I understand. So, I'm going to at least try the demo.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Though the demo does come out the same day as Mario Golf, so might be a while before I get to it. But yeah, cool stuff. Putting that demo out for people to try.
Okay. so let's talk about more of like the first party stuff. First, let's just say so Smash was Tekken's Kazuya is the next DLC fighter.
Yeah. I think that was a pretty good character reveal. Definitely one that not a lot of people were expecting at all. And
yeah, I don't think anyone expected it.
I thought the trailer was really entertaining of him just bringing the dead Smash fighters over to the cliff and dropping them off.
So yeah, I guess his move in Tekken was he would always throw people into volcanoes.
Nice.
That was like his thing. But so the only reason I was like a little disappointed is because when it first started, he said, "Now look at this." They snapped their fingers, and the very first scene was Ganondorf being carried off the cliff, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It's like, is this like? Cause I had been thinking in my head, like, is Breath of the Wild 2 just gonna look way different than I expect, and like different than the last one? And this was like this cut scene, and so my first thought was, is this Breath of the Wild 2? And it's just way different than I thought it was gonna be. So then I was like, oh man, but yeah,
got you with
cool.
The bait and switch.
Yeah. It's like they kind of try to do that. So yeah, it's cool.
I think they definitely did Ganondorf as the first thing you see on purpose because they knew people were expecting Zelda.
For sure.
And that's hitting June 28th, and we only got one
presentation.
Yeah, there's going to be a full Smash presentation with Sakurai. So we only got one Smash fighter in this. A lot of people were expecting two, but we got the one. So the Smash hype continues for the last DLC fighter to be revealed. They also said there will be no news about the final Smash fighter on June 28th at that thing. So it'll be later this year for the last one. I'm just glad they did an actual fighting game character for Smash. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they did. I'm kind of surprised they don't do more.
Yeah, you would think,
but I guess also at the same time, I'm sure those games they don't want to. I don't know. They might not. They might be hesitant to have their fighters be in other fighting games. I don't really know why. It's like the biggest fighting game ever, but
yeah, I feel like it's an honor. It's an honor and a privilege to be in Smash. It's how my dumb Nintendo 8 brain works.
Yeah. Okay, so now I think the rest of them are okay. So I'm gonna jump around.
Let's jump around.
Then let's talk about Shin Megami. I'm going to kind of go in, at least for me, the order that I'm probably least excited to most excited. So next was Shin Megami Tensei 5. I think it looks cool. I know you don't think it looks great.
It could be.
Go ahead.
It could be a fine game. Like the gameplay, it looked fun. It looked very much kind of like Pokemon. But I just thought, like, when I was watching the Treehouse live stream, I couldn't help but think that this looked like a Wii game or a PS2 game. Like just how it looked very muddy and bland, and maybe that's just the style of the game. It didn't really appeal to me. I'm not trying to bash it, just saying what I saw. I thought it looked kind of shitty. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not disagreeing with you. That's like I know what you were saying when you said that. Like it's like dark and like muddy. I agree. I guess I don't know. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so, and to preface that, like, and I said this to you, like, I legitimately have not put my Switch into the dock in over a year. So like, I only play it handheld, which I don't know when that happened, but it got to a point where that's just how I play my Switch. And so everything looks better in like the small ass screen. Yeah. So I've always kind of been like, whenever I see something on like a direct, I'm like, it'll look way better when I'm playing it because I just have a 6-inch screen, and it always does. So I don't. But yeah, I have never played a Shin Megami Tensei game. I was thinking about picking up Nocturne, and I have not yet. And now that this is coming out, I just decided I'm not going to pick up Nocturne, which I think was number 3. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to wait for this because I feel like I might as well wait for the newest one. So yeah, I'm planning on getting it right now. I started playing Persona, which is, I believe Persona is a spinoff of Shin Megami Tensei. And I started playing it just for the first time, Persona 5, the other week, and it's awesome, but it is massive, and I think it is too big for me of a game for me to play.
Yeah.
So
I've heard
like
I've heard Persona 5 is like 100 hours to scratch the surface.
yeah, it's massive. I should keep playing because I think I just got to the part where it's like opens up, but you literally live like you're a student, and it's like you live every day. Like it's like you wake up and it says like March 3rd, and you do a bunch of shit through that day. You live a whole day. You go to school, then you fight like battles, do all this shit, and you go to bed. And then it's the next day.
Oh my
God!
It's
like, yeah. So you're just like living a life, but it's at the same time you can like go to arcades and like shit like that. So it's cool. But there's just so much to do. I'm just like looking around, and I think that's how these games are too, which is why only reason I'm talking about that. So yeah, I'm gonna try this one.
I hope they do a demo for it.
Yeah, I think that this would be a good thing to do a demo of, because the thing is, when you have a game like this where it's like number 5, and I think that turns people off. I almost wish sometimes games wouldn't attach numbers to them, and they just said, sequels were just different subtitles, like
Halo Infinite.
they
said that they consciously did that because they didn't want people to feel like they couldn't get into a Halo 6 if they hadn't played a previous one.
I mean, that's I've always kind of felt like that. Especially if it's a game that I really like know is going to be good. And it's like a series that isn't as big. Maybe I'm always kind of like, man, I just wish that they didn't have that number, because I bet people won't play it because of that. But anyways, so yeah, I'm going to give it a try. But I agree. I hope there is a demo, and that launches November 12th.
Yeah, that's coming out this fall. Okay, I got nothing else on SMT5.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Next one, let's talk Mario Party Superstars.
Yeah.
So this got announced. It's a collection of 100 games from, was it just from the N64 era, or is it across all Mario Party games?
I think it's across all Mario Party games, and it's the reason that was kind of confusing is because the 5 boards are from N64, but
okay, how
many Mario Parties are on N64? I don't know.
There are 3.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I don't know about the mini games. It probably is 1 through 3. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
But I like this. It's 100% a cheap. They can't just make a Super Mario Party 2. They'd rather just do this.
I know.
But like, it's definitely
it's very
way
Nintendo.
Out. Yes, 100%. This probably they were able to spend way less money and like make this. But I like it. The only reason I never bought Super Mario Party, even though I told myself I was going to, and I've played it multiple times and I like it. But I didn't like that the boards were so small, and I didn't like that you couldn't do online play until right now.
Yeah.
But but I'm not going to buy it now. And now that this is coming out, yeah, I'm going to get this 100%. I think it was awesome how they talked about you can play with people online that you don't know as well. You can just play random matches.
That's the most Nintendo shit ever. Like, that's a selling point, online play.
Yeah. That's, I mean, yes, 100%. It is, though.
It has to be, just because of what happened with Super Mario Party. So, like, they have to communicate that clearly, that that's a possibility with this game. But, like, it's just so ridiculous that in 2021 that is a highlight of the... that should be, like, a one-sentence thing. Like, it includes online play. Like, and everybody knows what that means. But for Nintendo, it's... You can play online even with people you don't know. Like, they have to spell it out for you.
Yeah, and they were like, I don't know exactly what they're saying. They're like, and if you want, you can pause your game, take a break, eat a sandwich, and come back and play, or something like that. And it was just like, I don't know.
It does look fun though. It looks like awesome Mario Party stuff. 5 game boards, 100 mini games. $60 for 5 game boards and 100 mini games is just it is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, but how many were in Super Mario Party?
I mean, we only had 4 game boards in Super Mario Party.
Yeah, and those ones were really small compared to these ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I 100% agree. But it's like Super Mario Party sold 15 million copies.
Did it really? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I just heard someone say that. I think it was Grub.
So yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah. putting this out at $60.
Yeah, 15 million.
I guess we'll see. Probably another 15 million seller, maybe 10 million.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm definitely gonna get it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get it. I'm just a big idiot buying every Nintendo release, but
yeah,
I don't care. They got me by the balls. So, okay, let's talk.
Maybe WarioWare.
Yeah, let's do WarioWare. So we got. I mean, this is kind of a party game too, even though it's only for 2 people. And this is coming out September 10th. I was surprised to see both WarioWare and Mario Party in the same showcase, but maybe that's because they're trying to show that they're very different. Like, I was waiting for them to mention online play for WarioWare, Get It Together, and they never did. And they never did in the Treehouse either. They just said 2-player, same screen co-op, or local wireless with people using their own Switch. So
yeah.
This is coming out for $50 on September 10th. It showed a whole bunch of micro games and like the full cast of characters from previous Wario games. Again, it looked like WarioWare. It looks like you have to use. I'm guessing you have to use the Joy-Con, one Joy-Con to play this. From the looks of it, but it looked like a lot of fun. I'm definitely gonna buy a WarioWare on the Switch. I don't know why anybody wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I thought it looked good. I honestly was not expecting this. I know that there was that survey, but I think we talked, and I think we did talk about it, saying like, oh, I wouldn't be surprised if it was there. But I was kind of shocked. It's not that I didn't think. I mean, obviously one was like in being made or something like that because we've been hearing about it. But I don't know. I just wasn't expecting it this soon.
Yeah, me neither. And also, sorry to jump around, but going back to Mario Party Superstars, they said that game can be played completely with button controls, so there's no motion required, like Super Mario Party. I think the opposite's probably going to be true for WarioWare. Get It Together. Like I said, I think you have to use the Joy-Con. But yeah, it's. I guess this is the first WarioWare where you can do 2-player same screen.
Yeah, I think so. Well, they had multiplayer modes in other ones, but it was like it wasn't the main campaign. Like you had certain games, like you would go to multiplayer, and then that was like they had specific games that could be played multiplayer. And it seems like this is like you could like do the story mode games with other people or something like that. Yeah, you might be right. I don't know though. I mean, you might be right.
I haven't played every single WarioWare game, so that's.
You might be right, but the only thing is, I think that they were saying the reason they were saying that you can play it with button controls on Mario Party is because that was the only game that you couldn't play on Switch Lite. So, because remember, Super Mario Party could not be played on Switch Lite.
Yeah, that's right.
They wanted to let everyone know that you could.
They showed somebody playing it on Switch Lite.
Yeah,
in the video.
I don't know. I feel like they don't want to do that. I mean, maybe, but I would 100% agree that the games will be set to like have motion controls or be played with one Joy-Con. But I would think you could set it to be able to play on the Switch Lite. I don't know. I don't think they want to do that because now the Switch Lite sold a good amount. That's alienating in a good chunk of the audience. But
that's
then again, it is Nintendo, so. you never know.
You never know. I'm scrolling through the trailer right now to see if they showed like anything related to that. Part of me thinks, well, it does show Wario sitting in a chair playing like a handheld video game console with controllers on the console. But the logo for the game has an emphasis on like showing the 2 Joy-Con, like the red and blue. So I don't know. I gotta go back and figure out what the deal is there.
Yeah.
But
that might just be because, like you said, it's the first one that can be like completely multiplayer. So they're just trying to promote that a bunch. Like, oh, you can hand a Joy-Con to your buddy.
Have a great time dodging pigeon shit falling from the sky.
Yeah. Wait, I watched it a second time and I was like, wait, I didn't see that the first time.
Yeah, like, there's pigeons just dumping all over the place, and you gotta dodge them. And then there was like tweezing armpit hair from some ripped dude, just jack dude, like tweezes armpit hair. There's a windmill thing, unplugging a drain. Like there was some weird very WarioWare stuff happening in this trailer.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I can't wait for WarioWare get it together.
Yeah, and so that's September 10th. And yeah, that's cool. So then let's talk about Advance Wars, which came out of nowhere.
Let's talk Advance Wars. This game, it's going to be Advance Wars 1 and 2. It's called Reboot Camp.
Which is a cool name.
Yeah, great name. Great stuff, Nintendo. It's $60, so Nintendo people...
I was not expecting that.
You thought $60 for a Wii game was bad. Get ready to spend $60 on a Game Boy Advance game. 2 Game Boy Advance games, but still, like, holy cow, that's...
Again, I'm 1,000% getting this.
Yeah. They did make a note in the trailer of saying, like, completely rebuilt from the ground up.
Yeah.
So the like pixel art that you know from the GBA games is gone. It's now a very sleek and shiny, and I hate to say this, but when I first saw it, it kind of looked like a mobile game, just the graphical style. But that's kind of unfair because I think if you were gonna try to release a pixelated game at $60, people would be like, "What the hell?" Like, I'm not doing that. But because they like made it all nice, shiny 3D visuals that are easy to like look at and understand, that's probably why they chose to go this route. Especially because this game is probably going to sell a lot of copies to people who have never played Advance Wars before, so they want to just make it appealing to people, to newcomers. But yeah, it looks. I can't believe they did that. Like, I can't, the audacity to come in with Advance Wars.
It was so random. And I agree with you a little bit on how it looked. I did think when I was watching it though in the treehouse, I thought it looked better.
Yeah,
when they were just like playing it on the Switch, I did think it looked better. But I don't like know what to say. So I had only played the first one. I never have played the second one. But I played, like, we both played Wargroove when that came out, and that took a big. I think that was a heavily inspired
the modern day Advance Wars.
Yeah, and that was like, I loved Wargroove, and so I'm excited to go back to like what that took inspiration from. So yeah, anyone who played Wargroove, that was heavily inspired by Advance Wars, and so this is awesome.
Yeah, I love the characters in Advance Wars. I don't know, but everything about it is just so fun. And everybody thought that this franchise was just dead because it's so similar to Fire Emblem, and Fire Emblem is selling like crazy right now. So literally nobody saw this coming. I didn't see one person hint at, oh, get ready for Advance Wars remake of the first 2 games. Also, good on Nintendo for just giving us the first 2 games, which is probably what people want. If it sells well, maybe they'll do a brand new sequel, but to start off, this is probably what people want.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I do think, I would not be surprised if this does well, that then they made another one, but this is the way to go, 100%. They're probably saving some money there, and it's what people want anyways.
Yeah, it just, like, oh my God. Advance Wars. I still can't believe that was in there. That's like so Nintendo's holiday lineup this year has some really good games, but there's no massive Mario or Zelda type release or Smash type release in there. But just having something like Advance Wars Reboot at the beginning of December coming alongside of Pokemon Remake and Metroid and Mario Party and WarioWare, like all of it together makes a really awesome few months of releases.
Yeah, and to kind of touch on that, yes, I would not be surprised. Like, I bet if we're going from like October through December, I bet the games in that period would sell the same. If you totaled all those sales up, it'd be the same as what a normal year is with a huge game. Because I think I think Advance Wars, Mario Party, Metroid. What else? Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl will sell well.
Oh,
Shin
yeah.
Megami Tensei. Those are all gonna sell at least a good chunk, and so I think it'll end up totaling about the same. So yeah, we don't. You were all right. There's no huge we were thinking, and no huge Mario, no huge Zelda, and no huge 3D Donkey Kong or anything. But yeah, I'm excited with the lineup right now.
Yeah, me too. So Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp hits December 3rd. And once again, it's $60. So people who bash on Nintendo, you just got a whole lot of fuel right there. Feel free to use it up, throw it on the fire, and continue to say Nintendo are a bunch of thieves, because you're, in some respects, you are not wrong at all.
When I went to the eShop, I was more surprised. I was definitely more surprised by this one being 60 than anything else.
Yeah,
than like Mario Party or anything. I was like, okay, I was expecting 30 maybe.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a $40 game.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah, just it's been so long since we've had an Advance Wars. Just take my money. You've earned it.
All right, then let's talk about probably the craziest thing of all, which was Metroid Dread.
Oh yeah, Metroid Dread. So we've talked about this a lot. This is the new 2D Metroid game. It's the first completely new 2D Metroid game in 19 years, since Samus Returns on the DS was a remake of Metroid 2. And I gotta say, it looks awesome. It looks really good. Part of me, when the trailer started, I was like, why does it look kind of bland? But the more I watched it, the more I realized, like, okay, well, I guess maybe because I played Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS, and this is, probably it's the same team making it. There's just maybe some similarities there, but of course this is on Switch, and it looks way better than that. I don't know. I just thought there was something about it where I was like, I expected a little more, but after watching the Treehouse and rewatching the trailer several times, I was like, okay, this is 2D Metroid. This is what I want. This is what we need. I don't know. It looks great. It looks really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think that. I guess I just I don't know. I feel like Super Metroid was kind of like that. Like they're kind of just like there's not a ton of color. I feel like, at least when I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I didn't think that, but I whatever. I think it's awesome. I'm super excited. I watched the Treehouse. That was probably, honestly, like of the whole day, just watching the Treehouse on that was awesome. I didn't even watch. They did 2 sections on it, and I didn't watch the second section because I was just like, I don't want to see any more of this game. But it is. So it seems like, though, that there's gonna be 5 or 6 like big areas, and there's one of those robots in each of them called Emmys that are just like coming after you at all times, which is just a cool thing. And for anyone who doesn't know, Metroid Dread was originally going to be the next Metroid after Metroid Fusion.
Yeah.
And like
hell?
It like leaked out. There was like literally people had like screenshots of like the logo for Metroid Dread, like whenever that was, like 15
20
years ago.
Yeah.
And I guess it's been like canceled. They had a section on it in the Treehouse where the guy was talking about it. It had been canceled 2 different times and rebooted. But I would have to assume this has always been what the idea was, because he said, the producer, whoever had said,
Sakamoto,
Yoshio. We had this idea. We had this idea for Metroid Dread a long time ago, and we could never quite, like, the technology was never quite good enough to do that, to do what we wanted to do. So we kept kind of canceling, rebooting. And I bet that that's what this is. I bet, just like having robots in every section that like follows you and like is smart and like has a good like AI. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe they just had issues making that back in the day. But it seems like this is what they wanted, which is just insane that it's this. I saw that title, I was like, oh my God, I had like heard about that so long ago, but I I don't know. It was wild.
Wasn't there a little screen that just said Metroid 5? Like at the very
right when it started.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa. Just a black screen with like Times New Roman, Metroid 5. Oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, they later revealed it was Metroid Dread. And so I did just confirm. It is developed by Mercury Steam, the same company who did Samus Returns. And the producer said during the Treehouse, he said Mercury Steam are extremely talented. Technically, they're very skilled. They also have great taste. And the other part was, he said, but more than anything, they have an incredible understanding of Metroid games. So that's coming from the producer of Metroid. So that just makes me pretty fired up for this game.
Yeah. I think that God, that'd be just, how awesome would that be to be like on Mercury Steam? If you're like, you know, for to get that respect, it means that like clearly the people making this game, they're probably Metroid fans forever and like have understood it, and now they get to make those games. Like that's just awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I hope this is just like the beginning of a really good relationship between Mercury Steam and Nintendo, and it just keeps going. So then maybe Retro eventually can make something other than a Metroid game once Prime 4 comes out.
Yeah, I hope that this sells well enough. I don't think it needs to be this huge, massive success. But I hope it sells well enough. I think it will. That they are like, all right, we can keep making these 2D Metroids a little bit more regularly.
Yeah, I hope so. God, just this thing's got to sell 10 million.
Because Metroid has like it's always been one of their lower selling franchises of their big names. So I mean, I don't even think it needs to do that. I think if it could sell like even just like, I don't know, even 5 million, because I can't remember how much Fire Emblem sold, but it was less than like 5 million, and they think that was like a huge success. Three Houses, that was like the biggest one they've ever had. So yeah, I don't know. People just buy it. Yeah,
just buy it. No, like support the shit out of this game so that we get more Metroid, because everybody knows we need that.
Yep.
It looks so fun. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with so this is the continuation of Fusion's story, so that's why Samus's armor is like kind of bluish and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so cool that they were able to go back and just keep that story going.
Yeah. And they did mention Prime 4, which we did say that was the most I thought that they would do.
Yes.
But I mean, whatever. It was cool. I was not expecting them to have anything with Prime.
No, not at all.
But it was good that they at least mentioned it. It sounds like, I don't know.
Yeah, they said it's just continuing along development or something along those lines. So
yep.
Maybe another year. Maybe next year.
At least they didn't restart it again.
Yeah, we didn't have that. So there you go. Man, and they're putting out a 2-pack of Amiibo for this. I don't think they went over the functionality that comes with those. It's $30 for the 2 rather than $25 for 1 for Skyward Sword. So that's not a brand new across the board Amiibo pricing structure they have with the Skyward Sword one. Like I said, you get 2 for $30. No idea what they do, but Wario64 is already tweeting about them, and they're already selling out everywhere. So if you want to get one, you got to stay on it. And there's I was just gonna say, there's also a deluxe edition for this that's $90, and you get a steel book and some art cards and an art book. It seems like a massive ripoff. I don't recommend buying that. An extra $30 for like a piece of shitty metal and some cards and a book. I don't know, but you know what? Buy whichever one you want to support Metroid. But that just seemed like a pretty weak deluxe edition for this.
Yeah. So I just want to say there was two things that aren't on this list. I just realized. So they did also have another trailer for Mario Golf. It just went over all the details, and then the final thing was they had a whole section surrounding Zelda, which I think everyone kind of thought this at first, but when they first said this is the final section. And
Yeah.
it showed Age of Calamity. I was like, oh no, please don't end on Age of Calamity DLC. But then I saw there was like 10 minutes left. So yeah, Age of Calamity DLC.
I thought it looked really awesome getting to play as a Guardian. I loved that game. Like I am definitely gonna get that DLC and let it rip, lay waste with the Guardian eye beam on enemies.
Yep. And then they had another trailer for Skyward Sword. They didn't really show. It didn't seem like they showed anything new, really.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that trailer again. To be honest, at this point, I was just like, next. Like, when are we getting to Breath of the Wild 2? So then they showed the Game & Watch, which I mean, it's big. It's a much better deal than the Mario one, considering it has Zelda: Adventure of Link and Link's Awakening, which is sweet.
Yeah. And a Zelda version of Vermin and a playable clock.
yeah.
But whatever, I don't know. I think these little Game & Watch things are really cool because they are like a callback to Nintendo's history of some stuff that they did, however long ago, and just re-releasing the little Game & Watch handhelds. I don't know. I like them as a collector's thing. I did pre-order one already. Like an idiot. I paid $50 for 3 games I already own multiple versions of, but whatever. I don't care.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I want it. I just want to set it on my desk so I can pick it up at work whenever I want and play some Zelda. But yeah, it seems like a pretty nice little thing. It would have been a very good thing if it was part of a bigger Zelda campaign, but turns out that's not happening, and there are no other Zelda ports coming as part of an anniversary. So if you want to celebrate Zelda 35, Game & Watch is it, baby.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we can kind of talk about that. It's surprising, but I don't. Here's the thing, that he specifically said something along the lines of, we don't have any other campaigns or whatever to celebrate the 35th. And I think that they're saying that in the sense of that, they're just letting everyone know for this year that you're not getting these, you're not getting these other ports of anything like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Ocarina, Majora. It doesn't mean they're never going to come. It's just not going to be in this fiscal year.
Yeah.
Which right now, here's the thing. We've said over and over, even though I 100% always thought that Twilight Princess and Wind Waker was coming this year, we also have said many times, like, it seems like there's too much Zelda in like a short period.
Yeah.
And it seems like they don't want to announce, they might not want to announce anything before Skyward Sword because of that. We don't know when Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out. So, now that it's been announced that there isn't anything, I'm not crazy surprised. The only reason I'm just really surprised is because I thought there would be a bigger celebration, and we have pretty much heard people confirm that there is Twilight Princess and Wind Waker.
Yeah, we have heard that. Earlier this year, somebody from, I think, IGN tweeted, like, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess absolutely coming this year. And maybe that was true at the time, but it doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Mm-hmm. If they were, I mean, given what we just saw, if there were additional Zelda ports, like, when would they release? Like, honestly, the schedule is jam-packed.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's like open right now, I guess, is August. They have No More Heroes, but they're not going to release it right after Skyward Sword.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to. Skyward Sword's like the end of July, isn't it? 20-something?
Yeah, I think so.
I could be off on that. But either way. Yeah, there's just not a lot of room for a Zelda, an additional Zelda port. So we're getting the Game & Watch. That's gonna do it for the 35. We're getting Skyward Sword HD, Game & Watch, and AOC DLC. And anything else before we move on to Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay?
I will say I have a weird thing that happened after this. Weirdly, after the Direct was done. And we'll get to Breath of the Wild 2, but like after, and then I was kind of like, I was a little disappointed just like at the fact that I was like, oh man, I really was like looking forward to playing Wind Waker again on Switch, and once I kind of got over that, I weirdly got more excited than I was previously for Skyward Sword.
Well, yeah,
yeah. You know, like I think the thought of like having all these Zelda games, I kind of had like pushed it to the side a little bit, but like I don't know. Now I'm more excited for it. I don't know why. It's kind of weird, but I mean, we are still getting a Zelda game. I know it's not the most popular one, but we're getting a 3D Zelda game next month that is going to be, some things are going to be fixed, quality of life things, and I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm weirdly more excited than I was yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because that's what we're getting. So it's like take it or leave it. But I think after seeing the Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay teaser open up with a shot of Link falling, there's definitely a reason why Skyward Sword has been remastered as like the game in between Breath of the Wild 1 and Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, there's going to be something that's from that 100%.
There's some parallels there. Yeah. So that, I mean, that alone also makes me more excited to play Skyward Sword because I want to have all the backstory possible when I go into the new one.
Yeah, and not only was it him like falling from the sky, it is literally like the exact same shot as like the shots when you drop from the sky in Skyward Sword. So that was very intentional. So let's talk about the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. First, I guess, without talking about the date, that trailer, it was very quick. I wish it was longer, but it was still awesome.
It was, I mean, God, I've watched it 20 or 30 times today already, and it still is giving me goosebumps watching it. Breath of the Wild 1 is my favorite game of all time, and it's like like I'm emotionally attached to these Zelda games. So like any bit of news for a new one, I'm all over it, and I just get super hyped up. And I think they called this trailer a gameplay teaser, so they aren't calling this like the full trailer or anything like that. But I thought it was just incredible. There's like a very short intro part where we see like it's like a dark screen and some red evil goo or smoke or whatever slithering around, and then it gets on Link's arm, and then there's a quick shot of like a zombie Ganon, and then we see Zelda falling down like into a cave, into a cavern or something. So it's like pretty dark. I'm guessing that seems like that's probably what happens at the end of the trailer we got 2 years ago, you know? It's your dog barking.
Yeah, let me get her inside. She's like right outside my window.
All right. So yeah, anyway, I think that is what this trailer picks up with or starts out with. It seems like a continuation of what we got a few years ago when they did that short teaser that said the sequel to Breath of the Wild is now in development, where Link and Zelda are down in that cavern and the zombie Ganon comes to life. And apparently it didn't end very well for Zelda. And then it picks up, oh, here comes Jay.
Go on.
Jay's back. Okay, so then after that, we get this shot of Link falling out of the sky. He's got long hair. He's got some weird shit on his right arm that looks like it gives him extra powers. And this music that starts playing, I'm just like bouncing off the walls. Like whatever. The music in Breath of the Wild is so incredible, and especially the last trailer. And this trailer, I was like, oh my God, they did it again. Like it was just perfect.
Yeah.
I've talked enough. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you probably touched on some of this, but I mean, from what we can tell, it seems like there's going to be okay, well, first let's say I'm very excited, even though I expected it, and we have talked about this numerous times. I'm very happy it's not just the exact same map and they've expanded it. Yeah. Which I did think that that's what was going to happen. He specifically said we've expanded the world into the sky. So who knows what that means? It looks, we saw the castle go up. I'm sure other parts are going to go up. And then who knows? Maybe there's like temples up there, or it looks like you are not only like there was that one shot where he had the paraglider, and it seemed like he was just kind of like Link was just kind of like flying. It wasn't just like falling with style like you do in Breath of the Wild.
Like the paraglider has an upgrade or something.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I also would not be surprised if there's underground as well. Even though they didn't show that, just in that first trailer, they had showed them kind of underground. And maybe they just don't want to talk about that yet, but I would not be surprised if there's both above ground stuff and below ground stuff, and then Hyrule itself. And that would be just awesome. So that really excites me. It does look like there's new mechanics, like you said. He has that arm that I'm assuming is going to have new powers, because there was that one clip where he like Link did like the stasis on the balls, but it was
did the stasis on the balls.
on the
spiky, walked right into that one.
Yeah, on the spiky falling balls. But it was different because it stasised the whole area instead of just like the one item. So that seems to be different.
He also, I think, used the weird arm to like basically Splatoon Inkling through like the platform. It looked like he sucked up some water from like a puddle and then used that to liquefy himself and like go through.
So, I'm thinking there's gonna be like almost spots where it's like, okay, here you can like transport up into the sky here, you know? That's what it seems like. So it was just a tease. It was like I wanted more, but it was just enough where it was like, all right, I did feel like I got what I wanted. I really wanted to see some sort of gameplay and just see if there was any difference, and it was enough for me. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
Even though I wanted a name and I wanted it to be coming out in 2 weeks.
So after we started recording this, IGN tweeted something kind of awesome. They tweeted out that Nintendo says the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild does have a title, but they aren't announcing it yet because it could clue players into what happens in the game.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like they're just figuring it out still. There's a reason behind not revealing what the title is. And I mean, honestly, if that clues you into what happens in the game, I'm glad they're holding back on it until they do like the full reveal.
For sure. Because that's what I'm sure it will be. Whenever we see a big reveal with showcasing really what the game's about, that's when they'll say what the title is. So let's just, rip the Band-Aid off here. It did say 2022, and the way that they were talking about it, it seems like at the earliest it's going to be late 2022. Just because they said, first off, before the trailer started, the way he described it was like it's been steadily progressing with his A-OK.
I thought he did like a tiny like incremental like we're doing incremental progressing. Like I don't know what it was.
But just the phrase steadily progressing is not the same as like it means it's moving slow. And then at the end they did say they're aiming for 2022. So I am not expecting it before holiday 2022, but I will say, and this is what I was going to say to you, is I know I'm not disagreeing at all with probably what the consensus is with people is that they said that, but it's probably going to be 2023. And it's not that, like, I agree that is probably why they said it, is because it has a possibility to, but this isn't the same as I just think of like when they announced God of War Ragnarok. That was like they announced it while they were like promoting the PS5 to like build up hype, and all they could have for it was like the name, and like they really wanted to build hype for PS5, and like immediately that day everyone was like, that's not coming next year. It's like they couldn't even show us a thing. They couldn't, like, there wasn't a single clip of it shown. And a lot of people were just like, oh, it's just used so people will buy PS5s because now they know that game's coming. There's no way. And I just don't feel like that's what this is. I think that they are aiming, and they probably have in their calendar when they want this game out in 2022. Yeah. It's just that it is possible it won't make it,
No, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have like already seen so many people being like, that's coming 2023. Like they said 2022, it's coming 2023. And I don't know. I would probably put it at, I would put it at more like 50-50 or maybe even higher 2022. I just wouldn't like be shocked if it was 2023.
Yeah, I think because of given the history of 3D Zelda games, like how many times did the first Breath of the Wild get delayed? Like three?
Yeah, multiple.
Three, four? It was supposed to come out in like 2014 and then didn't make it till 2017, but turned out to be okay. So I think you're right though. They probably have, they're like, here's how we could make 2022 given nothing goes wrong, but something might go wrong, and then we have to push it till the following year.
And I think that they are, the reason they probably didn't give any sort of year the first time, and look it's good they didn't.
Yeah.
Because when they first showed this off, they probably would have said like 2020, who knows? And then COVID happens. So it's like they have been, I think since Metroid Prime 4, they've been really, really careful about like saying when something's released. They don't want to disappoint their fans. Like that's not, no company does, but like they've been more cautious about that. So that's the only reason I'm just saying like, I don't know. I think it is 100% their goal, and they think it is possibly attainable to get it out next year. It's just, if something goes wrong, if COVID, is still affecting them, because everyone says Nintendo's been probably affected the worst. Then maybe it'll get later. But you know what? Like you said, Breath of the Wild was delayed multiple times, and it was the best damn game ever. So if it's I'm disappointed, but whatever. If it's going to result in a better game, that's awesome.
Yeah, whatever they need to do to make this the best game it can possibly be, I'm on board for. It already looked like much different from the first game. Like we were kind of under the assumption like it'll probably look very similar. It'll just have like, I don't know, a few differences, but it already looks so different. Like I don't know it. And also like, I mean, just to finish that thought before I get too scatterbrained, like the thing on his arm, he's got long hair. I don't know. It looks like he just woke up from another 100-year nap or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. I think that I'm just going to jump in and just say, I think this is like, it seems like he was like resurrected or something, because it's just that I have a feeling that's just that first scene, because he's wearing like a different tunic. He was falling out of the sky, and his hair was long and it was like flowing. It like looked like it was like, I don't know. It seems like something happened.
Yeah, he looks like he had a long night out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks so different. Like falling out of the sky, that's like way up in the sky. I'm not talking jumping off a mountain. Like, there's a lot of really different stuff going on. On Nintendo's YouTube channel, in the description for the trailer, it says "Return to Hyrule and the skies above" in this first look at gameplay for the sequel. So like they specifically call out the skies above as being like a big focal point for this sequel, and so that I think that again ties to Skyward Sword. And then there was another shot in the trailer of like this big green like golem looking thing, this new villain and new enemy, and somebody on Twitter, I can't remember who it was to give you credit, but they compared it to a totem from Skyward Sword with like a very similar color palette and everything. And I think there's going to be a lot of ties to that game and this game.
Nice.
So yeah, a like platform full of enemies on top of a Talos.
Yep.
God. I'm watching the trailer, just getting hyped up again.
I think it might have been Jason Schreier, I could be wrong, just like was like pointed out a few things he noticed, and just like it was just this is nothing, but those Talos, or those goblins on the Talus, one of them is like blowing the horn to call it. So you can see one of them blowing a horn, and that's what makes it get up, which is awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, just put it out now.
So, yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, going back to the jumping around some more, the 2022 release window. This we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but they could be waiting to see what the actual launch date is going to be before they drop the Twilight Princess and Wind Waker dual pack.
Sure.
Just so they don't run out of Zelda stuff, I guess. I don't know. If this misses next holiday, they could throw out those Zelda ports and tide people over.
Yeah. And it's like been pretty much confirmed by many people that that's what they did with Pikmin. They just like finished it a long time, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and just held on to it until there was like a spot where it could come out when they felt like, oh, like maybe like another game got delayed. And so they're like, all right, we'll just put this there in its spot. So maybe that's what they're doing with this, which it's fine. I'm the only issue is that I just beat Twilight Princess, and I don't know, do I play Wind Waker? I don't think I'm going to, but I think I am going to play Ocarina of Time in the next few months here. But anyways, it was awesome.
It was great. It was so good. If you haven't watched the Zelda trailer, go put it on repeat, get hyped up, stay hyped up. Yeah, it's pretty good direct, Nintendo. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I was definitely happy. I told myself all I wanted was a new Metroid game and a Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. I got both of those.
Yeah.
And then some more. I mean, like, I would have never thought an Advanced Wars remake was coming. I really didn't expect a WarioWare.
No.
So yeah, I'm happy.
I'm super happy with the show. I thought it was going to be really tough for Nintendo to keep pace with Xbox because they had a really solid show too, but I feel like they did. Like they both just had amazing shows.
Yeah, I think like they were far and away better than any of the other shows, and I know that's usually the case. Like that, Microsoft, Nintendo, and when Sony's there, they're usually the best three. But this time it was like far and away. The other ones didn't even come close.
Yeah, it was not even close. And this was also the first time watching a Nintendo Direct where they did not have a "and one more thing" announcement. Where I was like, I don't even care. I just don't care because that was amazing. We got enough.
and I mean, if people are going to believe, the rumors, but I don't even want to call them rumors. I like if it's someone that I trust, then that means that there is a DK game being worked on.
Yeah.
There is
Nintendo did mention in the Direct, in the middle of it, they were like, we are working on several other titles that are in development right now. Like, we're not showing you everything. And obviously that's true, but that's true all the time. Yeah, it's good to hear.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? Next year could be crazy. I mean, honestly, we have plenty of great games for the rest of this year, so I have nothing to complain about. I have like 7 just Nintendo games that I'm going to be getting, full like $60 games I'm going to be getting for the rest of the year. So that's more than enough. I'll probably buy more than that too.
So the end of the year, or for the last half of the year, back half of the year, we're getting, I laid it out and now I can't find where I listed it out. But it's going to be Mario Golf, Skyward Sword, HD.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're technically having No More Heroes 3 is in August. I'm probably not going to get that, but I know a lot of people like that. Then WarioWare September.
Yeah, WarioWare September. Metroid Dread at the beginning of October. Mario Party Superstars at the end of October.
Also Monkey Balls in October.
Oh yeah, Monkey Ball. It's a huge one. And then we're getting the Pokemon game in November and Shin Megami Tensei 5 in November, and then Advance Wars in December. So that's
and then January is the Pokemon Legends. Yeah, so it's like,
and then just to throw it in there, we're also getting a new Halo and Forza Motorsport 5.
Yeah,
or Horizon 5.
Yeah, and Elden Ring. So that's
and Elden Ring in January.
Yeah, so it's just like this is great. Just Microsoft and Nintendo just have like made the rest of this year just amazing.
Yeah,
so
they really excited. Through January, we are set.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've heard like a lot of people kind of saying that this overall, like maybe this E3 wasn't that great, which I understand because some of the other presentations weren't great, but I mean, really what I look for with E3, I'm not usually someone who's like wants to see games that are a ton of games that are 3 years out. You know, I want them to fill out the rest of the schedule, and that's exactly what happened. So I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. And, you know, you were saying like maybe it wasn't a great E3 or whatever people were saying, but we didn't have E3 last year.
Yeah.
So this was, you know, kind of like a way to get back into the swing of things. And hopefully next year we have the full blown in person, the whole thing once again.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get back to that. But this was definitely a good first step, and a million times better than not having E3, because last summer kind of sucked for video games as far as like
it definitely did.
Companies talking about them. But
yep.
Anything else?
I don't think so. We are at about 71 minutes here. So we covered a lot.
Yeah, man, that Zelda trailer.
I'm
not going to be able to sleep again. I'm just going to be watching it on a loop.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching like people's videos all night long, 100%. Just people talking about these things, and like people who know more than me. I've already watched a bunch of people who like are bigger fans of Metroid than me, and like talking about, oh my god, this like relates to something that happened in Fusion. So I'm just going to be doing that all night.
Yeah. And I think I saw Game Explain already has like a Breath of the Wild like teaser breakdown happening. Yeah, I'm gonna watch all that shit tonight. It's great. It's great time for video games right now.
Yes. So with that, thank you guys for listening. And we were gonna do this. We were gonna try to do this podcast live. I think we mentioned that.
Yeah.
But we didn't register. Or we did. I don't know. We didn't do it right, and it told us we needed 24 hours before we could go live. So we'll do that soon.
Hopefully we'll get our start doing most of the podcast live just to try and get people in on them. But yeah, it didn't work out with this one, unfortunately, but you know, maybe that's a good thing.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys for listening, and we will be back next week, I assume.
Yep, we'll be back next week. Follow us on Twitter at GM Games Podcast. Email us at goodmorninggamespodcast@gmail.com. And we'll see ya.
See ya.